All right. So, first things first, Connor, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Very good.
So, before we get into the album, The Art of Pretending to Swim, I'd like to go back to the period after Darling Arithmetic and then kind of that cycle had
Yeah.
completed. And what kind of mindset were you?
After Jolly Arithmetic, um, I was touring a lot, and then we recorded like a sort of a live version of the songs from Darling Arithmetic and also the previous albums. Um, so I guess I was just really busy, and then when that all ended, I suppose I kind of took a little break and then I went to Castle Gregory, which is a place on the west coast of Ireland, and just kind of had some time alone and kind of um, stayed with some of my friends and made the beginnings of what this album would be. Yeah, and went cycling a lot.
So, because I don't know the timeline exactly, but Malahide, you kind of moved from Malahide to Dublin.
Yeah.
When was this? Was this in that period?
It was like a year and a half ago,
Okay.
so yeah, probably around that time. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I can imagine that being quite a change of surroundings.
Yeah, it's a big change. Yeah, I spent 12 years in this amazing place in Malahide with lots of friends, and it was quite a communal kind of vibe, and yeah, I suppose I'm still adjusting to living in the city, and that's why I recorded like most of this album. So I suppose, yeah, maybe it influenced it in some way, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
because I wondered what made you move, what made you kind of leave that tranquility.
Oh, just life, just
Okay,
just change, and just moving on, and you know, it's a long time to live in the same place.
fair
So
enough.
yeah,
And so you say around that time you were with friends and then doing a lot of jogging, and that's when kind of the first ideas for the album started to arrive. Do you remember the first song you wrote?
ooh yeah. The first song on this album, probably Ada, but actually Ada, I had a demo of about 6 years ago, so that's a different thing. But I think the first song I actually wrote for this one was probably Trick of the Light, actually.
Okay.
The single, yeah, A Trick of the Light.
And
Yeah,
then Ada we'll get to a little bit later, but
okay.
then let's start with A Trick of the Light.
Yeah, yeah.
When you start writing and like you mentioned, you've kind of completed this album cycle. Is there an intent when you start writing? And in this case, that being the song that came out, but
Yeah. There's an intent, but for me, like, I don't know, I'm a real space cadet, so I kind of dream. I, it's hard to put the intent into words. It's kind of more of a. With Trick of the Light, it was like I had this sense of movement, and I wanted to. I wanted to put that into words and music and chords, and I don't know. It's a weird one. For me, music is it's kind of, you're trying to attach yourself to the subliminal kind of energy that you're feeling every day, and A Trick of the Light was definitely one of them. It was something that I just kind of felt out. I kind of just let it grow, and I let it kind of flow into the words and the chords and stuff. So, yeah,
so in
yeah.
that sense, the mood is just as important as kind of the chords. And
100%. Like for me, words are kind of like, I don't know. They're like the afterthought. They're the thing that you kind of attach to the general feeling of the music, and you have to kind of just. It's almost sometimes it's a bit of a chore to write them because you know that they're not quite what you're getting at, but you have to do it because that's how you communicate, and you sort of put them onto the music. And I was really into the idea of trying to create music which would flow and have a sort of a generalized energy, I guess, or whatever, or a groove or something. So yeah.
And I did write a couple of lyrics down here and there from certain songs, so we'll see how far we get with those then. But with A Trick of the Light, that being the first one, did it kind of establish the sonic landscape that you were going towards in this album?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I kind of spent most of the album with my head in technical manuals and learning how to record properly and learning how to mix properly and learning all that stuff. So the first, I think there was about 7 different versions of A Trick of the Light, which were all kind of in different places sonically. And as I was doing it, I was learning how to record properly and how to get somewhere with it. And yeah, it kind of, that song let me grow with the rest of the songs, and I kind of just, by the time I'd finished learning all of the technical stuff, I realized I hadn't written for like 6 months. I was like, fuck, I have to start writing a song again. So I had to go back to the notebooks and just start dreaming again and trying to, yeah.
And so can I assume that the lyrics are something that come later, that you first kind of try to create?
Not with that song.
Okay.
With Trick of the Light, it was just a case of just going, and if I see a sign, like real, like joyful, just like what songs are coming, what words are coming out, and here's some chords, and that all came together. I think most of it came together.
But so in that sense, you kind of, I suppose, discover what you were feeling or thinking afterwards. That you just kind of.
Yeah, totally. Like interviews are where you start figuring it out. You know.
So I did write a.
Interviews.
I did write a line down.
You tell me. Tell me what it means.
Well, we can go in as deep as you like, of course. But it's time that I let go of things I can't control. That realization, which is, I suppose, a very fundamental one. When did that come to you?
I guess when I was writing the song, it's like for me, songs are more like it's almost wishful thinking songs. I'm not necessarily at that place.
Okay.
I just feel like the songs are things that you write as to strengthen yourself, and they're a form of. I used to hate saying this, but they kind of are a form of therapy. You know, songs are kind of little mantras. They're things that I have to do in order to stay sane yeah, that's just like a Zen thing for me. Yeah.
Why didn't you like saying that?
Why didn't I what?
Like saying that it had that kind of effect, or it
That it had a therapeutic effect, because I used to think that was a weak. I don't know. I used to believe when I started writing songs, I thought that my songs were going to change the whole world. Like I genuinely had this full-on insane belief system in my head that as soon as my songs got out there, the whole world would change, and like we'd all there'd be peace on earth. But I genuinely did have all these weird like visions about. And as you as you grow older, you realize that that's not necessarily true, and I think, I think now I feel like music is more about it affects individuals, and that's okay. Affecting individuals is enough for me, even if it's me, even if it's just me. Kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the kind of the technical details that you ventured into. So I like to go into that as well, because Darling Arithmetic was a more intimate album, if it might be too few words to describe, but it was a lot more intimate than this one. So this infatuation with the technical aspect, with producing, with creating sounds out of nothing.
Yeah.
Why did that rise to the top? Do you know why?
Because I needed something new to learn, and I think I just used these album things as reasons to develop as an artist and to kind of make something that challenges me, and like I felt, you know, I think when you feel a bit uncomfortable and you have to learn something, then you're going the right direction. You're kind of like, you're losing your kind of previous inhibitions about whole areas of music making which you didn't know about, and that's exciting, and it gets my juices flowing, and like that flows into my lyrics, and that flows into my music and the chords, and it's all just this big experience, and that's what this album was really. Yeah.
And I think you went into quite some detail, because I saw some pictures, I think it was on your Instagram, going into the frequencies and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that, and obviously there are more, but what's one thing in particular that you took away from delving into music from that angle?
I don't know. I did become really obsessed with frequencies for a while. The final song on the album has a 14-minute version, which actually comes out as a sort of separate release on the like a 10-inch release, vinyl release, and on that 14-minute version, there's lots of friends of mine, but one of them is Annie Das, Dr. Das, who was an Asian Dub Foundation, which I grew up obsessed with, and I just thought they were always amazing. But one of his quotes, which used to inspire me, was the idea of the emotional frequencies of the low range of bass, and how that can affect you and can make you move in different ways. And I think I explored that quite a lot with this album, in terms of quite obsessively using equalization and frequencies, like to such a degree that I might have done about 20 different mixes of one song, which only had like a few decibels difference in one particular frequency, but I thought, like, that finally says what the song should say and stuff, and yeah, it was a full-on kind of thing, but